What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, coach of your Montreal Milotic, bringing you another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. Today we are facing off for the very first time against Aquarius and her Chicago Strength Sub. This is the first time it's happening. I'm pretty excited for it, so if you guys are excited as well, make sure to leave a like on the video, comment as well, and of course subscribe. At the time of recording, we are one sub away from 1,300 on the channel, which is absolutely incredible. If you guys want to see the team builder, there's a timestamp on the screen and in the description, but let's go ahead and jump right into it with the matchup. My opponent's team. Honestly, her team, compared to what she could have normally drafted, isn't as powerful, but it's a team full of good Pokemon. Just the fit is a little bit wonky, we'll say. There's a Mew there, which is arguably one of the top 3 to 4 best mons in the format. I think it's number 3, but to each their own. Thunderous Incarnate is very good. A nice 111 speeds here with Prankster is awesome. Prankster Thunder Wave is really nice for those faster mons that are faster than Mew to be able to then pressure them with Mew's setup options or Mew's bulk in general. Nidoqueen is a great hazard setter, but also an amazing bulky pivot, but a breaker on top of that too. Lycanroc is the bane of my existence in this matchup. It's really scary and makes like half of my team useless, which is super scary. Prim is annoying, but it's slow, and I should have a couple of decent answers to it in Glowking and Ferrothorn, so maybe it doesn't come. Oh, and even Mantine, but I think it has to come to be able to check Crawdont if my Crawdont does come. There's Chandelure, which is annoying. It's pretty fast at base 80 speed, has a really good stab coverage against my team, and outside of specifically like very certain Sylvallies, certain Mantines, and then certain Clefs, it can actually beat a lot of my team, which is insane to think about. Bisharp, I hate Pokemon like Bisharp that rely on Sucker Punch, and Aquarius knows this, so I'm pretty sure she's going to bring Bisharp, but if she doesn't, that's a win for me, I think. Selgor is annoying, really fast Spiker, could also be really good offensively as well. I do have the Clefable and the Slowking, so I don't feel too concerned about it. It does have the potential to carry the Bug Buzz for Slowking, and then the Sludge Bomb for the Clefable, and I guess Focus Blast for the Ferrothorn, but I don't really think it's going to be coming because it doesn't hit too hard unless it has like a boosting item. I do have a good bit of priority on this team. There's then a Cincino, which is fast, kind of annoying. Don't think it's going to come unless it's protected pads, because I have a Garchomp and a Ferrothorn, which can kind of shut down any of its multi-attacking moves. Abomasnow could be an answer to Crawdont. It does resist water, which is nice. Doesn't resist dark, rather, which is unfortunate, but definitely a possibility. And then Wartortle, if it comes, fine. I have a Clefable, which is unaware this week. I don't feel super worried about offensive Wartortle, and the defensive Wartortle is going to take a shit ton from the Crawdont. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. Starting with our very first mon this week, it is going to be our Garchomp. Now I had a hard time deciding, do I want to go with Banded Garchomp, Scarf Garchomp, Setup Garchomp with Life Orb, and Swords Dance? What am I going to go with? And I decided to go with Band, because my opponent has a total of 1 immunity to ground. It's a Thunderous, which could probably go down pretty early in the game. There's also 2 resist rather. One is a Selgor, which again is barely a resist, and the other one is an Abomasnow, which if it does come, fine, I have some answers for it, but in general, I'm not staying in on Abomasnow anyways with Ice Shard potential, so yeah. Outrage is also really good because she has a total of, the Prim, which is an immunity to Dragon, but then the Bisharp is her Steel type, which is not great. So Outrage is really solid, so is Dragon Claw, and Poison Jab is there just in case I need to do really big damage to Prim, and I know it's not like a Kebia Berry or something for the Poison Jab, but most of the time I'm clicking Earthquake or Outrage, to be honest. The speed on the set is there for the Mew, really all we need it there for. Everything faster than that is going to be Lycanroc, the Thunderous, and the Cincino. Cincino does have the, what is it called? The triple axle to be able to break through, as my cats are trying to get into the closet there and like smacking the door, so I apologize for that. But they, what was I saying? Triple axle on the Cincino, that's a Oko Garchomp, but if it has Rough Skin, then it'll put it in range of Crawdont's Aqua Jet, which is super, super nice. Our next mon is going to be said Crawdont here. Crawdont is our lead this week. We're running a Sash lead Crawdont, which I had done before in the past. I think the only time that I would not lead with this is if I see Cincino. If I see Cincino, then maybe it's not going to be a lead, but in general, it's a solid lead nonetheless because it has the Focus Sack to take any one hit, then can get a really big hit off with a knockoff or a Crab Hammer, Aqua Jet, close combat against something like specifically the Abomasnow, but everything else is not appreciating taking Crab Hammer or knockoff at all. And most of the time I'm clicking knockoff turn 1 because it'll be able to get rid of any item, potentially a Pasho Berry, and then be able to go for Aqua Jet to claim a kill. For example, knockoff into Aqua Jet gets a KO on a max HP Nidoqueen. If it's Pasho Berry, then Crab Hammer into Aqua Jet may not do it, so I have to be very careful with that. Yeah, this is going to be our Crawdont. The speed on this set is there for 12 speed Nidoqueen, just in case it decides to run a very slow set, but also helps me out in case she's running a very defensive Primarina. I can outspeed that thing, fire off a big hit against it, even though if it is resisted, and an attack that's resisted, it still does a good chunk of damage because it is an adaptability Crawdont that is adamant in nature. Our next mon is going to be an offensive Sylvalli Ground. Now, she has a team that has, like I said before with Garchomp, she's a team that has 3 answers, quote unquote, to ground types. One of them being a Torn, Torn Thunderous, which is part flying, one of which is oh my god, I can't speak today. One of which is an Acelgor, which again dies to anything, and one of which is an Abomasnow. All three of those have one thing in common. They are weak to rock. So we're running Edgequake coverage, multi-attack with Rock Slide. Maybe Steel Valley Rock might be a bit better, but I do think ground has a bit more staying power than rock does, so we're going to be rocking with this. U-turn is there over something like Flame Charge. I didn't think I'd be able to get a Flame Charge and a Swords Dance, and I felt like Swords Dance would be a bit better for this team, so I decided to go with that. We'll see if that's a mistake. Honestly, I don't really know if it is, but U-turn is nice for a bit of momentum, which I do like to have on a team like this. I feel like it's very important to get into my Garchomp, to get into my Crawdaunt if I get to keep the Sash intact, or get up against something very slow, like the War Turtle, for example. Just in general, I feel like it's a solid option for me in this matchup here. And in what we have for speed, in terms of speed, we have enough speed for the Chandelure. We also have enough investment so that we can take a modest Specs Chandelure's Flamethrower. We also take a Scarf Overheat, or we take a Primarina's modest, non-boosted Scald from full, which is crazy, and we actually 2 KO if it's max HP, which is insane to think about with our multi-attack. Multi-attack actually is the strongest move I can go for against everything else, as long as it's not a super effective damage. Even then, most super effective attacks that I have are going to be doing less than multi-attack would. For example, Mew. Crunch is my strongest dark type attack, and outside of multi-attack, obviously, and Crunch, 80 base power times 2, 160. We have multi-attack, 120 base power, plus stab, which is half. 120 plus 60 is 180. It's stronger, so we really got to take care of that. And it also does not pop a weakness policy, or it doesn't pop a potential Culver Berry as well, which is good to know. We can do more damage, potentially get it to a KO we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Our next mod is going to be Bubba, our Clef. This is the most expendable member of the team right now. Moonblast, Knockoff, Softball, and Thunderwave. It is there for utility and utility alone. If I can paralyze 1 to 2 Pokemon, if I can knock off 1 to 2 items, I'll feel like Clef will have done its job. It has the Unaware as a way to limit hit from you and get a paralysis off on it, knock off its item, whatever it's going to be, and I can kind of go from there, which is important. I also feel like getting rid of a potential Life Orb or Choice Band on Lycanroc is huge. Same thing with the Leftovers or Rocky Helmet or whatever on Prim, Nidoking's Life Orb or Shucka Berry or Pasho Berry, whatever. Same deal with Chandelure. In general, it's a solid Pokemon all around, and Paralysis is going to be my best friend here. Just don't want to get this special defense drop or the special attack drop with Moonblast on the Bisharp. That would be really bad for me, so we'll see how it goes. The investment that we have in our defenses is 4. It allows me to take 2 Timid Thunder Waves. Well, let's try it again. 2 Timid Thunderous's Sludge Waves. I put Thunderous Sludge Waves, and I just read it as Thunder Waves. Or we also take 2 Modest Chandelure Flamethrowers or Shadow Balls, and we also take a Jolly Life Orb Lycanroc's Iron Head from full. That is our investment in our left. Moving on, we have Durian, our Ferrothorn, Stealth Rock, Knockoff, Gyro Ball, and Thunder Wave. The last move, Thunder Wave, I was debating Leech Seed, Thunder Wave, Spike, even Protect, what's it going to be? But I decided upon this because I want to have a Pokemon that could paralyze things a lot. I want to force things to be paralyzed, slow them down for my Garchomp and for my Steel Valley, which are my win conditions this week. In general, it's a really strong Pokemon that does a lot for me. Getting up rocks is nice. The knockoff support is awesome. Gyro Ball is really big damage against quite a few different Pokemon. And Rocky Helmet with Iron Barbs is great, especially against something like the Prim, which is going to be taking 30% every time it goes for Flip Turn on my Ferrothorn, which is huge for me. And if it decides not to go for Flip Turn, fine. I can then go for Rocks. I can then go for Knockoff. I can start pressuring things with Thunder Wave, whatever it's going to be. That's what the beauty of this Ferrothorn is. And getting rid of Prim is huge for my Garchomp to be able to click Outrage pretty damn freely. So yeah, that's going to be our Ferrothorn. The investment we have allows me to take, if I can actually find it here, it lets me take a Life Orb Adamant close combat from the Lycanroc with the Rocks Up, or we take a Jolly Life Orb Fire Fang with Rocks Up. That's a lie. Actually, we take it's 1 roll to actually KO me, but 1 roll only. That's it. We also, like I said, helps me chip down the Prim Lycanroc. Lycanroc's Cell Rock. That's a contact move. It does chip. It'll do chip to him. It'll do chip to me because it does like 2% to me, but also do 17 plus what I think it's like 16 or 14 or whatever it is with Rocky Helmet and Iron Barbs. But yeah, that's going to be our second last mon. Our final mon is going to be Archimedes, our Galar Slowking. Now, I don't like the matchup for every single other Pokemon on my team, including Galar Slowking. But we're bringing Galar Slowking here, and we're bringing Trick Room because her faster threats are pretty scary. The Mew, the Thunderous, the Chandelure even, the Lycanroc, obviously, Cincino to an extent. But if we can get a Trick Room and then break, this Pokemon can do just that, break really well. We do like half to max HP Mew with Shadow Ball, which is awesome. Sludge Bomb is there to hit things like the Thunderous, the Prim, the Acelgor. The mons that basically don't resist it this is my move of choice. But against Pokemon that resist this, or the Mew specifically, I have Shadow Ball and I have Scald. Scald is there over Flamethrower. I know we see a Bisharp. Flamethrower is very nice to Oko the Bisharp, but I can't go with Flamethrower because she can just go for Sucker Punch and get the KO on me, even if Trick Room's up. So what's the point? So instead I decided to go with Scald, because that way we get the KO guarantee on the Lycanroc, which is very, very scary for the rest of my team, even though nothing on my team is necessarily weak to Rock. I just want to have a way to get rid of it because it hits so damn hard. And I think Bisharp I can handle a little bit better because I have the Rough Rocky Helmet, or the Iron Bob's Rocky Helmet, the Rough on Garchomp, I have Priority, I have Silvally Ground, I have a ton of different options. I feel pretty good about my chance with this. But yeah, this is going to be my team for this week's battle. We just went max here. I feel decent about it. I am exhausted. It is one of the busiest times of the year for me for work, and I have just been, I feel like I've been hit by a truck. So support in the chat, or in the comments would be really, really appreciated. And let's try and get to 1,300 subs before this video goes up. So let's do it, guys. Thanks for watching the Team Builder. Our secret word of today's video is going to be, oh my god, we're going to say any type of alcoholic beverage that you drink, okay? Whatever, if you are 18 years old or below 21, depending on your country, then this is not for you, this question. But if you are 18 or older, this question is for you. What is your favorite alcoholic drink? Let me know down in the comments below, and let's do it. It's time to battle. All right, everyone, we are back, and I don't see a Mew. I don't see a Thundurus, which means the only answer, the only Pokemon that even resists ground right now is an Accelgor, which is kind of cool. There's no Lycanroc either. Holy shit. Okay. I feel so much better about this match right now. So let's see. There's no Lycanroc. There's a Bisharp. There is a Primarina. There is a Nidoqueen. Come on, not Nidoking. Nidoqueen. There is a Chandelure. Shandy Wandy. There is Selgor. And there is a Cincino? Cincino. Okay, if we see a lead of Cincino against our lead Crawdont, then I'm switching out. But if we see a lead of anything else, great. I think it's going to be a lead of the Accelgor, to be honest. And I mean, she's going to have to decide, is she going to get up spikes or toxic spikes against me? Or is she going to break my Sash? Because I can knock off into a Aqua Jet to get the KO on it, even if it's Sash. That's pretty important. I'm surprised at this team, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Damn. So what is she going to lead off here? She's going to lead with Virilio, which is very nice. So Crawdont against, what's this thing called? What is this thing called? A Accelgor. It's like max HP. Knockoff will break Sash, get the KO. If it's not Sash, so I'll go for the knockoff here. And we'll see, what does she do? Bug Buzz. So she's just going to go and break my Sash here. Perfectly fine by me. We have our Sash intact. And now, unless it is specifically Sash itself, it dies. Who brings Rocky Helmet? Why do people bring Rocky Helmet against me? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Okay. Right. Thank God there's no Lycanroc, or else that would have been really bad. And go Archimedes here. Not at all what I expected there. Rocky Helmet Accelgor? Why? I can go Durian, get up my hazards. This thing gets taunt, doesn't it? It does not get taunt, so I can get up hazards now, which is nice. I think I'm going to do that. There's a Prim, I know that. But I think hazards are pretty important when there's a Chandelure around. So yeah, I can. Oh, this thing can easily go for Final Gambit on me. If it does, am I fine with that? I think I have to be fine with that, to be honest. It's gonna go for Final Gambit on me, isn't it? Spikes. All right. Not the end of the world. Not the biggest concern. It's not great, obviously, but yeah, what an interesting way to lead. I got my rocks up. This is gonna stay until it dies. I can go for a knockoff here. I imagine a second layer comes up. Rocky Helmet Accelgor. This is like, that's like max defense as well. It's like very high defense. That could be max defense bold. So another layer of spikes and this thing goes down. Kind of wishing I was Scarf Garchomp now, but it's okay. It's okay. We get rid of this. We take the helmet chip. At least we do not lose this thing, break it down, or get it broken down completely, which is nice. But yeah. If I see Chandelure come in, there's 2 layers of spikes up, which really hurts. I was not expecting this to live a hit. Are we going to see Boots? We see Boots. Because I don't think it's what is it? I don't think it's, what is the word I'm looking for? Can't think of it. It's not sub, from what I can see. I'm just going to go hard into Garchomp here, I think, and just go for an Earthquake. You know it's Boots. It's going to go for a Flamethrower here. And Flamethrower is going to do less damage to this than it would to Clef. Maybe he goes for Fire Blast. Flamethrower. Okay. This is resisted. The punish is the burn. There is no punish. I can go for Earthquake here. It's free against everything. There is no resist. Everything should die, except for probably Max Defense Prim. And that's it. But this Pokemon just goes in right now. I'm surprised that she didn't bring anything to really handle this Pokemon right now. Just switches out. Okay. Daikiera, which is the Prim. This thing should drop here. We're going to see rocks, or not drop right now, but you know what I mean. It's Air Balloon Prim. Okay. Let's go into Durian now. That sucks. We got to get rid of the Air Balloon. Ah. Would have been nice, but this now is immune to all of my answers, all of my stab for this, which sucks. I have Poison Jab on it, but like, Poison Jab. I kind of wish Rocks broke Balloon. But damn. That's one fewer turn I have on Spikes. I think I only have like 2 switches left now. I'm going to take a good chunk from this now too. Damn. Just see a hard switch. Lady Nico, which is this thing. This thing has a fire move. I can go for Gyro Balls. I can do more. Is knockoff better? I think knockoff might be the play here. We're gonna go for knockoff. Get rid of potential item. Chuckaberry. Yeah, it's not going well. Earth Power, we should live this. 121 down to 54. I don't think that's Sash. That's Life Orb rather. We'll see. Yeah. We got the call right there. I can switch on to something else. Not really going to be worth my while, to be honest. I'll go for my Euro Ball here. Very aggressive, hyper-offensive game to start. This may not kill me. I think it does, actually. Yeah. That Cellgore at the start really messed me up. Like, completely countered my game plan. Completely. I can go to Fallen here. Fallen kind of does a work against everything. So I'm going to go into Fallen. This thing is one of the answers she has to Clef. I can go for a U-turn here. If she stays in, what do I go to? Glow King? I think I always just go for multi-attack here. I always go for it. I have to, because if she goes into Prim, I just U-turn out after. No more Shuckaberry on this is nice. So once we pop the Air Balloon on Prim, we should be in really good shape. Assuming that, well, we can't outspeed the Cincino anyways. So it's already not looking good. He's going to stay in, multi-attack him, but does this get the KO? It does. Very nice. But now, there is no Ferrothorn for the Cincino. Which is a problem. That is a problem. The best I can do right now, I think, is like hope we get some good diff on this. It's going to be an offensive game. It's going to be like KO, 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 back and forth, over and over. I'm pretty sure I actually take a hit from non-boosted Cincino's Bullet Seed. Round 1, this is Cincino. So let's say the Bullet Seed will do 81% at most, which means that two spikes. Does that get the KO? Yeah, it's not. It's no. It doesn't do a KO if it's non-boosting. If it's triple axle, it is not KO either. We see Daikiera come in, which makes sense because she needs to get rid of my chip right now, which is important. I can go for a U-turn here, which I think is pretty smart. Let's go for the U-turn. We'll break this. If she goes and doubles down to something else, that's fine as well. She does not, so we're going to break the Sash on this, which is nice, or the Balloon on this. That's really good. Okay. That is good. I go into Archimedes here. We're going to catch a nice fat water move. Maybe an Ice Beam. Maybe a Flip Turn. Flip Turn, yeah. Probably should have gone for a Rock Slide, but couldn't really risk it. These spikes are putting in work. That Selgor was the absolute MVP of this. If Selgor just dies early on, if we don't die to Rocky Helmet, if it's not, no, let's try again. If it's not specifically Rocky Helmet Selgor, we're fine. In comes Ribcage. This is this Pokemon here. I have 0 total answers to this. And I think my play is go for a Scald, unfortunately. There's a knockoff, and this is going to get a KO on me. Goodbye. Yeah. Again, this is the second week in a row where people just don't bring the mons that are good in the matchup, in my opinion. But hey, what are you going to do? I don't want to die Sucker Punch with Garchomp, so I'm going to keep Sylvalian, I think. Oh, 5 Flame Charge. 5 Flame Charge too, but I don't. We're going to go for a nice fat multi-attack. There being a Cincino really hurts me. Cincino was just a mon that was slower than Garchomp. I think I could do it. I should have probably gone Clef on the Bisharp. I just couldn't let it set up on me. I feel like she Sucker Punches here. Or she just switches out. Fine. Nothing's going to appreciate this hit. Okay, this is the Chandelure. Chandelure is going to drop. Okay. I believe now Bullet Seed will get the KO. There's 4 rounds of spikes, basically. I think that means I'm at, like, what, 68%? Something like that? I think it's like a guarantee, actually. Ugh. It's not good. That ain't good. We gotta hope that Triple Axle is the move that she has, and that she maybe misses. It's my only hope. Even then, we're not gonna KO. We might. We might KO Cincino. It depends on the investment it has. We have Rocks up. Without any investment, it does 84 to 98 multi-attack. So we'll see. But I guess she predicted a Flame Charge there. She wants to stop that. I really would have liked one Flame Charge. In comes this thing again. So this is Prim. Primarina. 50. You can imagine max HP. Max HP, this should drop. I don't think this is max HP though, but we'll go for it anyways. Multi-attack. Max HP, we do 56 to 67. That's it. Considering it's Air Balloon, I think it's like got some investment in defense. But this could KO depending on investment here. Let's see. Max defense is hell. Scald. And down goes the boy. It's unfortunate. If I had gone for a Rock Slide the first time around, I think it would have been a really good spot there, but I did not. But anyways, in comes Pineapple here. This game is going to come down to, honestly, if she misses with Triple Axle, I think. Not even anymore. Not anymore. She has access. No, this is going to be a 2-0 win, I think, on her end. So I'm going to go for the Earthquake here. We'll get a KO on something. Aqua Jet. Fair enough. Gets me in range. So defensive Prim was the play. We expected defensive Prim. Did not prep for Air Balloon Prim. Which, if I'd gone for a Poison Jab right off the bat, would have been so nice. But honestly, this game's about what ifs right now. What if she wasn't Rocky Helmets on the Selgor? Great Bring. What if she wasn't bulk enough to take the knockoff? That's it. That's it. I was not expecting Rocky Helmet at all, and I wasn't expecting it at all, even more so on the Selgor. To me, I'm like, why? I want to know what that means. We're going to have an interview with her after. There was no Lycanroc, and like half my team didn't come because of Lycanroc. Like, I would have brought... Rapidash was the other bring. It was like, if I didn't have to worry about Lycanroc, Rapidash 1000%. Let's go for the Earthquake. If I was Choice Scarf. But I'm not. Boy. It's going to be a 2-0 loss here, it looks like. Unless somehow she misses with an attack, which makes no sense. It's not going to happen. Or she decides to go Adamant or something and doesn't outspeed me. Adamant, does this outspeed Mew? Speed type Mew. Knock off. Take it, please. No. It's pads anyway, so yeah, that's what this side we were expecting. So she played well around the Silvally. Silvally was going to take the hit. But I can go into Bubba here. I can go for Moonblast. She knows I'm unaware. I go for the Moonblast here. So now I think we have to win our last 2 weeks to have a shot at making playoffs. I think actually if we win 2 weeks, we'll win playoffs. We'll make playoffs for sure. But if not, we won't. And I've said it before, but the reason I feel like this team is just not working for me is I'm relying on a Pokemon. I'm relying a lot on a Pokemon like Ferrothorn, which I think is an absolutely dogshit Pokemon. It was a mistake for me to go Clef over Scizor as my second round pick. I was debating, I wanted to get Clef and Scizor. But I decided to say, you know, I can get Clef, I'll get Scizor after, or something similar to Scizor, and it's hurting me right now. This is the problem with the team, in my opinion. I feel the team is good. Oh my god, we get an extra point of diff. Let's go! I'll take it. 1-0 loss. All right. Jesus. Those spikes. The fact, look, here's the thing. The fact this game was even close like this after the way it started was just like, it just shows how good Garchomp was in the matchup. But she had no answers for Garchomp. Her answer was Air Balloon Prim in this team. Goddamn. Go for Moonblast. Boy. Well, it's going to be a loss, unfortunately. But a 1-0 loss is as close as it can possibly get without it being a draw. Or, you know what I mean. But Iron Head comes out, and that is a GG. Big turn. I'm going to say it again. I think it's like the 5th time I'm saying it. But the turn 1, the fact that it was Rocky Helmet, or that it just lived. If it died, and it's Rocky Helmet, fine. No problem at all. Okay, no spikes. I feel really good about my chance. But because she got 2 spikes, because she got rid of my Crawdons, I was put so far behind. The play with the Prim going into that on the Earthquake, great. If I was, let's say, not banded. I was not banded. Or I could switch up my moves, or I was Life Orb, then I'd be fine, I feel, as well. But she made a hard switch. I think she went hard into... What'd she go hard into? She went into Nidoqueen, which was the prediction. It was like a mid-ground play in case I went for another a poison jab there. But yeah, then again another play when the Prim came in, still had its air balloon up, and it went for flip turn against my Silvally when I could have gone for Rock Slide. If I went for Rock Slide, I break the sash or the air balloon, whatever. She goes for an attack on me or whatever. You know what the move is. Rock Slide would do more than the what was it called? Rock Slide would do more than the U-turn would, which would then put it in range of the multi-attack the next time around when I went for it, and anything that comes in just dies to the attack, and I think Cincino has to specifically be the Pokemon that comes in, which even then it's not a guarantee that Bullet Seed KOs. So, a couple plays where I didn't get right. It happens. We're going to try and get connected with Addison to do a little post-game interview. So guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in just a second with an interview. So we are back, everyone. I'm here with Addison, Aquarius, coach of the Chicago Strength Center. The winner today, you and your goddamn Rocky Helmet on your...
Yeah.
I'll be okay. First of all, I'll just say this. My strategy was to break, or just not let you get a spike, or just break something as the lead. The only thing I was pressuring the Crawdons out was specifically a Helmet user, or Cincino. And I was hoping not to see Helmets, but...
Yeah. So, like, kind of like bulky Aselgors is kind of just like my preferred like sort of thing, because I think a lot of people assume like Sash lead, and then Aselgor kind of has the natural bulk to kind of like counter lead against certain things. So I was looking at your sort of past games when I was building for this 2 days ago, and I saw that like your 2 sort of most common leads were Vanillux and Crawdon, like Sash Crawdon. So I kind of decided to go that route and make a Aselgor that sort of guaranteed. In the case of Vanillux, I would have knocked off your Scarf and then gotten a Spike Up. In the case of Crawdon, I would have done, well, that. So
would you have lived the Blizzard from a Scarf?
Yeah, I was EV'd to live a modest Blizzard from Vanillux, which was cool.
Okay, so I mean, that's something. Honestly, I was saying, like, you know, as long as, if I get the KO, then it's fine. And I lose my Crawdon, sure. But those 2 spikes, they were so problematic for me throughout the entire
Oh my
game.
god.
That really was it. And I felt throughout when you brought the Air Balloon Prim, which was great because I was looking like, she's just sacking off a Selgor here, which means she has no resist to ground. And I'm banded Garchomp. So
oh, you were choiced. Okay, I was worried about that.
Yeah, you when you knocked off it with Cincino, you saw it was choice band there.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention.
Yeah, so I mean, at that point the game was won. And just I got an extra point of diff, so shout out to Clef for dodging.
Gotcha.
But in general, I felt like the Air Balloon Prim was really, really helpful because at that point everything got O-code or 2-KO'd.
Yeah, so the Prim, I gotta give credit to Vepsis for. That was his idea. And he basically just kind of looked at the matchup and said, you kind of lose to Garchomp because you don't really have many ground type switch-ins. So you got to get something that kind of resists both their stab. And I kind of went that route.
Well, Vepsis, speaking of Vepsis, he's the one who decided to run Air Balloon Heatran against me, which was like the one thing I was like hoping not to deal with, not specifically for Garchomp, but I was scared about it for Rapidash.
Yeah.
So that was something. I mean, honestly, the set was great, and the double back into Nidoqueen on the mid-ground play of expecting either Poison Jab or a switch was nice.
A small part of me was wishing I went into Shandy instead, but I think Nidoqueen did what it needed to do in that sort of circumstance. Right. I guess. I don't know.
Well, at that point, if I wasn't Scarf, then I'd be able to, I wasn't Scarf, and I can switch back to go to Earthquake, and it was just at that point mind games of, are you going to stay in and go for a Moonblast on the Garchomp next time, or are you going to take the Poison Jab, or what is it going to be?
Right.
But I think that was the second turn that I found was really big in the game, and the final turn that I thought was really game determining was when you just went for the flip turn on my Silvally. I was thinking, if I had gone for Rock Slide, then I do enough to put you in range of the next multi-attack, and then after that everything dies to a multi-attack, even Cincino, because it's in range after rocks. So that was another big turn.
That makes a ton of sense. I guess my mentality that turn was like, I have so much priority in the back with like Sucker Punch Bisharp and like Aqua Jet Prim that like, even if I get that call wrong, maybe I can get more chip on it to get in range of Sucker Punch. But I had no idea what your set was. Like that, like Silvally Ground scared me a ton because if it was like a Flame Charge set, I was very nervous about it. And if it was like a Swords Dance set, like that was another thing that I was kind of concerned about because I wasn't Flash Fire on Shandy. So that turn that you just raw multi-attacked, I was worried that you would like Flame Charge into multi-attack, I guess, and that was kind of spooky.
Yeah, so I'll say that my original set was Flame Charge over U-turn. I had Swords Dance and Rock Slide my final 2 moves, but I decided to drop Flame Charge because I thought I'm never going to be able to get both a Flame Charge and a Swords Dance, and I felt a Swords Dance would be more important to break through defensive Prim for Garchomp.
So you were Swords Dance. Okay, that makes sense.
So cool. I was also like, Cincino's matchup I thought was terrible. I still do think it's terrible, but with Pad specifically, it's not bad. I felt like having Mew around or Thundurus around, or even Lycanroc. I was so like half my teammate was made useless because of Lycanroc. And not seeing those was just like, hey, that's great. If only I could kill the goddamn Selgor to not get up spikes. So that prep there for that, the prep for the Prim, that was really good. Other than that, though, I don't know what item you were on Bisharp, but I hate Bisharp.
I was AV. That's why I felt so confident staying in with because I thought you'd be Colbur on Slowking, but I was like, if you're like Flamethrower, I don't really care too much because I'm Assault Vest.
No, so. I was Trick Room. I decided to go with Scald over Flamethrower because I thought that I was like, it doesn't matter what happens. I'm max HP. I'm Trick Room. I die to Sucker Punch anyways. So there's no reason for me to have Flamethrower on. So I might as well try and get a Scald Burn if I'm lucky. On a turn you predict me to go for Psychic. But in general, it was just
that makes a ton of sense in the context of I love my Slowgore sets, dude. I like EVing it is like my favorite thing ever because you could basically just run like a Timid Nature and then like I guess I'll show you what my set was. Like I could just run like max HP, max defense, and it takes hits so well. Like it's like ridiculous how well it takes hits.
So right here, it took everything you needed to take, and like that's huge. Just having the fact that you're able to eat that hit was massive. Does Sticky Hold prevent the knockoff damage, or does it continue the knockoff damage, like the boost?
It continues it, but like I don't think it matters a ton for Selgor in this case because obviously, but it mattered against when I ran the same set, although a few different moves against Jack and his Thwacky kept having like knockoff boosted knockoffs, but still like I think it's a good set.
Well, in general, this set was to me the MVP. Other than that though, shout out to Clef for dodging the attack to keep it close. But right
Making
now,
it a 1-0, yeah.
I think you have to win one of your final 2 games to clinch playoffs. I have to win my last 2 games to clinch playoffs, and one of them has to be Incog, who helped you out this week, so that's unfortunate as well. But yeah, honestly, like looking at it, the fact that you didn't bring Lycanroc, that was also pretty big.
So like I was nervous about it because I like looked at your team and I kind of felt like I had a little bit of Formusot syndrome.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, it's not something that would like necessarily stop me from bringing him on ordinarily. Like I feel like Lycanroc like very typically has Formusot syndrome quite often, but in this case, I felt like between like Slowking and Clef and Ferrothorn, there was so much options for like resist berries on your team that like it like scared the shit out of me. So I was like, all right, I kind of want to like, especially in case we play in playoffs, I kind of wanted to scout out like what your prep for it would potentially be.
Yes. Scouting the person who has to win the final 2 games to even clinch playoffs. And
look,
then be on opposite sides of the bracket.
You are talented and you are going to do it.
Look,
I believe in you.
Let's just say this. I did not bring like a Vanillix would have been amazing against you, but like there's a
That's why I had
I'm not touching
Bisharp.
it. Yeah, the AV Steel types are coming against my team almost all the time because of Vanillix. Mantine would have been great to help deal with Prim, so you can't just flip turn out on me. But Lycanroc. Rapidash, offensively, is amazing against your team. Like, it gets Mega Horn from you, Flare Blitz, High Horsepower, Wild Charge. I just can't run that because of Lycanroc. And then there's also Butterfree.
So much prep.
That's the problem. I was like looking at my team like, I have 5 Pokemon I feel really good about. Garchomp, Clef, Ferrothorn, Silvally, and Crawdon. The rest of my team, it fucking sucks here. Oh my god. All for the Lycanroc.
Yeah, the Lycanroc and that's kind of why I've enjoyed it this season, even though like it hasn't like gotten necessarily like a sweep off yet, but like I've enjoyed it because it forces prep in the sense that like it just like forces resist berries, it forces like certain mons not to come, like it forces like setup sets not to come, like any sort of setup mon that's weak to rock just like doesn't show up or doesn't like bring that set. So this is my first time I've ever tried Lycanroc, and like even though I think this is the second week I haven't brought it, like it even the weeks I don't bring it, it has a meaningful effect on the games, and I think that's really good for like I don't know what it was, I think it was like a 12 or 13 pointer.
Yeah, honestly, it should not be a Pokemon that is this fast and it's this hard. It's
broken.
It's way too strong. And honestly, I'm using an Ubers and it's great, but in singles where you're playing a standard league, nothing really effectively switches into it. So everything is like to a kill if you get the right coverage off, coverage move off on it.
And even against the teams that like had like hypothetical good answers, like D-Ray had Scarm and Incog had Corviknight. Like you're gonna say this is so V, but like I've been running like eject pack like CC, and that's like such a good set too because it just like is a breaker with momentum for one time, and then all of a sudden like once the answer comes in, it takes a hit, and then I pressure it out with something else, it can't take 2 hits again.
Exactly.
So
and if you get a hazards too against those things, 12.5%, that you can even run life from. You're still 2 a kill with close combat. So it's look, it's way too strong, and it didn't show up and just had that much impact. I will say, Abomasnow was another mon I was looking at, like, oh, Abomasnow could like actually come because it gets like fighting moves for Ferrothorn. It resists ground for Garchomp. Like
I thought about it. I was gonna run like I'll just say this. I was gonna run like an SD set, and I was like, I looked at the calc and I was like, okay, Abomasnow to Ferrothorn. How much are we doing? And I calced Icicle Crash, and Icicle Crash at +2 like looked like a 2 KO, which was kind of insane, at least after spikes.
On like max defense.
Yes, after spikes and hail chip. Maybe it wasn't max defense. I don't know what the hell I calced. Maybe I calced it off. But either way, it looked okay. And then I go to Showdown, and I'm like, okay, let me see if I can make this set work. And Abomasnow doesn't get Icicle Crash. I'm like, what? What the fuck?
Well, it gets like Drain Punch though. Like
it does, but I don't want to take that shit. Yeah, it gets Brick Break.
You're literally getting the health back. You run Ice Shard, you run Swords Dance, you run Earthquake, and then you run whatever you want. You don't even have to run Drain Punch. You chip down Ferrothorn, you get the final Gambit off on it with big damage on a Cellgore, and you're happy. But I don't know, honestly.
Well, that is the other thing with Abomasnow. It does just force prep in that way too, because I like to hear because of Ice Shard against sort of Garchomp.
It's Garchomp, yeah. I mean, it stabs in general really good against my team too. But your team right now has so much priority. I was super surprised not to see Mew.
Yep.
I felt like that was like, like, oh no, Mew, like that's fine with me. Like, the only reason I ran Shadow Ball on Slowking over like Calm Mind was because, and the reason I had to run Expert Belt was because I needed to find a way to like really pressure Mew. So I'm Trick Room with Shadow Ball and Expert Belt, or Life Orb I was before, just to try and get big damage off on Mew, and it just doesn't show up. Like,
this is the first time I think haven't brought Mew, not just like this season, but I think like in any league, any Wi-Fi league I've drafted Mew. And the reason it didn't come was just because like I couldn't find a perfect set of coverage moves against you. I guess that's just like props to your team. It's just like between like your top defensive threats, like you're ground weak, but like Earthquake's doing like not very much. And like I was thinking like, you know, maybe I was thinking like Ice plus ground could be something, but then it kind of just was set up fodder for Crawdaunt, and I was like, it just kind of put me in a weird spot where I was like, I feel like I cannot create a Mew this matchup that doesn't lose to something. And my team is so like fast paced. Like the second I let my foot off the gas this matchup, I feel like I was kind of just gonna be fucked.
Oh, absolutely. That, like, I agree for sure. Like your team had so much offensive momentum without actually having momentum moves. You just everything was a pivot into something else, and I think every time anything came in, it basically forced a KO. Like if you don't predict, I imagine you predicted Slowking with Nidoking, that's why you went, or with Nidoqueen, and that's why you went for Earth Power instead of Flamethrower, or if you didn't have it, I don't know.
I didn't have Flamethrower.
Okay,
but
so
I should have.
So at the end of the day, I mean, getting rid of the Shucka Berry was great for.
Oh, it's huge.
But it basically preserved, instead of making it like, it would probably been like maybe a 3-0 if you still had the Shucka Berry when I went for an attack with multi-attack or Earthquake or whatever. But you're basically, you do what you have to do, which is get up spikes and then play from an advantage, which you definitely had in this situation. And even though Garchomp had such a natural advantage over you, you had a Prim set that
had to do that Prim set, no choice.
Yeah, honestly, I was looking, I'm like, I can go like Scale Shot, I can go Swords Dance Scale Shot, which would be so good here. Like in theory, it's amazing, but I'm like, hey, there's like Lycanroc Dusk, which like can run Scarf and has Play Rough. There's Sucker Punch Bisharp. There's a Celeborn, which will outspeed and can just do damage if I don't get the boost stuff. Cincino has Triple Axle and KOs. Abomasnow has Ice Shard. Like, it's just way too much. Tailwind on Thundurus. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Can't do that. I'm just gonna go Banned and hope that I can get rid of Thundurus and then just go for Earthquake Sweeps. Or if I get rid of Prim, I go for Outrage Sweep. And that's it. Because Outrage was like 88% to like max HP Mew. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's why I was so iffy like mid-game. Like, I did risk my Primarina to get its balloon popped, and I was like really worried about like losing to a Garchomp set if I did that, but I guess I just kind of had faith that I would get it in Sucker Punch range or something. I mean, if you were Scale Shot, you would have died to Sucker Punch. If you were something else, but God, I was like nervous about like sub SD because that could have been tricky for Bisharp. It was just like Garchomp has an amazing matchup this game, and it really forced me to innovate. If we play again, I have honestly no clue what the fuck I'm gonna do. So, well,
honestly, if we have to play again, I have no clue what I'm gonna do either, because my whole thing was like, hey, let's make sure spikes don't go up, and I still hadn't go up, which super. And you didn't even bring the Lycanroc. I will say though, I feel like my team right now, and you mentioned like the team is good. I said it in my game, but I regret heavily, and I say this to everyone who asks me what I think about this team, I regret heavily taking Clef over Scizor. Clef just has done so little for me all season, and I feel like I've been like kind of playing with one hand tied behind my back with Ferrothorn, because it does the exact opposite of what I want a Pokemon to do.
Right.
So it's just like, it's been having a Pokemon that's like 14 points, 15 points, whatever Ferrothorn is, and just having it be basically a nothing, or feel like a nothing in most games, outside of like the one game where it did something against Vepsis. Or was it Vepsis? I think it was Vepsis.
I think it was Vepsis,
It's just like, so hopefully we can play a game where we're both comfortable and happy with our teams, because right now I'm feeling a little bit like,
no, 100%. I'm looking forward to hopefully us getting that opportunity. I think we're in the same division I don't know if we're allowed to announce it.
UP.
In a different thing.
I'm the matchman. We're allowed to announce it.
Okay.
No,
we're in the same division, so hopefully that'll be a lot of fun. I don't know.
Well, anyways, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you go check out Addison. Her link is down in the description, just like the rest of the coaches in the UBL. She gets the victory this time around, but next time, I guarantee it, we're gonna get the win. Okay, if we don't, well, I'm wrong. Okay, and like, what are you guys gonna do about it? Nothing. That's what I thought. So make sure to check her out. Thank you for coming on to the channel and for saving draft with me.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Here we are.
This is what it takes, okay? Make sure to check out the new CGT podcast that's going on. The first episode came out. I still have to watch it myself, but I saw the announcement on Twitter. But make sure to check it out, guys, as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.